Well, hello friends, it's Wayne Polson. Welcome back to part 2 of the disassembly and reassembly of the CS2511T top handle saw that I destroyed with my tractor back in the fall. Part 1 was basically the disassembly of the unit. It took it down to everything but this little stud right here that is called the guide bar stud. This is where what is used to tension and guide the guide bar. I wasn't sure how to remove that in the last video, so I cut the video off there, did some investigating, and found that I could just unthread it from the plastic housing and thread it into the new housing. So that's what is going to start off the video here for part 2, is the transfer of that piece to the new plastic, and from there on out it's total reassembly. There is one little glitch in the video, but Cousin Eddie will be there to straighten you out when that happens, okay? So let's get rolling, shall we? All right, so I got it figured out. It's just threaded in. It's plastic thread, and I found that I can get it loose with a pair of, oops, can you guys see this okay? I can get it loose with a pair of channel locks. Now, whether or not I can thread it in with these channel locks is another story, and it looks like I cut myself. But let's see here. Okay. I don't think it's going to be that bad, so do want to get it as straight as possible right off the get-go. That looks pretty good. Do I move my mouth funny when I do stuff like this? Vice grips would be nice too, probably. And you know what? I could probably turn this in with a nut. Let's see if I can find a nut. All right, that's going to work right there. What size is that? Is that this? Not quite. Is it this? Sort of. I could have used the nut for the actual clutch cover, because that's definitely the right size, but here we go. This is working much better. All right, we're going to stop right there, and let's see if we can sort of knock this nut free. If I give it a quick snap, it shouldn't unthread the plastic. Famous last words. There we go. All right, that worked okay. So that pin is in place. All right, I think I'm ready to go ahead and install engine block. Okay, there's the... Oh, I forgot my shield. Dang it. All right, let's try that. Do that again. Let's put the shield in. Now, what am I going to glue this in with? I think I'm going to use some E6000 glue. I don't think I need a whole lot of this, just a few dabs here and there. Just something to keep it from coming out of there. There we go. Put that in like that. All right, let's install the engine block. That's in. Put the screws in. going to do these. I'm going to calibrate my torque wrench here, right here, and yep, that's about it right there. Good deal. All right. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and put the oil pump back in. So here's that little black plastic. It's not really plastic, it's metal. That goes on first. Now there is a little rubber piece here that slides into this area right here, and that's the channel that routes the oil to the bar. You want to make sure that's in place. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and there we go. That's there. Put that in place. See how that interlocks in there very nicely. Then we're going to go ahead and put the oil supply line in. And now the 2 screws for the oil pump. All right, let me torque these down. All right, all looks good so far. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the flywheel back on.
Well, hello there, friends of Cousin Wayne. I just wanted to step in here because I watched Cousin Wayne's video when he's putting the saw back together, and I noticed that it was kind of funny because he put the oil pump in, you know, the oil pump, and right after that he started putting the clutch back on. He got the whole saw put together, hey. I mean, the whole thing, it was just done. And then all of a sudden he had a part left on the table. It was the dust cover for the oil pump, and he got real mad. He just did. He turned the tables upside down. He tore the tools off the wall behind me here. I'll tell you what, he worked like a son of a gun, and then he had to take it all back apart again and to put the dust cover on. Well, not all back apart, but pretty much a lot of it he had to take back apart. So yeah, I think it was too bad that they didn't win that game because they tried like crazy. You know, they had a good player on first base, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're hitting home runs over the fence. Didn't matter how good the first baseman was at that point. So that's the way it goes, though, sometimes. So okay, then I'll see you.
What are you talking about, Willis?
So what Cousin Wayne is going to do, he's going to cut out that part where he made that big mistake because it was like a long time. So to make the video a little shorter, he just wanted you to know he made a mistake, and that he's just going to jump right to where he puts that little dust cover back on, and then he's going to jump right back to putting the clutch back on and all that kind of stuff. So alrighty then, well, that's all I have, so okay, goodbye.
And the key is right there, so now I can do the same process for tightening this, but I'm going to be tightening, of course, in this direction. So okay, that's closed. Make sure the piston's coming up, which it is. I take my rope, stick it in here, hold the flywheel while I stuff it in there. Good deal. And now I can go ahead and tighten this to the specified torque. My elbow clicks right about there. That's a good click right there. And now I can pull my rope out, Okay, and that's tight. Good deal. Flywheel is in place. Now I can go ahead and put the ignition module in. Now I do have my 10 thousandths feeler gauge right here. So what I'm going to do is take the non-magnetic side of this first, and I'm going to go ahead and put the flywheel in. These wires will get rerouted once I'm done here, but for now I'm just getting them out of my way. Okay, I'm not going to tighten this. I'm just going to get all the looseness out. Oh, thanks for reminding me, folks. I appreciate that. I forgot my little black insulators. Got to put those in. Here they are, right there. I would have got the saw all back together, and I would have had 2 pieces left over, and I would have said, man, I'm a great mechanic. I have parts left over, and it still doesn't run. All right. Let's get these back on here. These go on those posts right there. Now we can go ahead and put the coil in. Okay. Loose. All right, I'm going to put this in. Great. Okay, I'm going to rotate this around now. So I've got the feeler gauge running along the circumference of the flywheel. Now I'm bringing the magnet into play. The magnet's right there, right now. And what that did is it sucked the coil right up to the feeler gauge. Now I can know that I've got a 10 thousandths gap there. So I can tighten this down good and tight right there. And then when I back this out, I now have a good gap. Okay, that's good. That's done. Okay, take my wires, run these through here. Let's see, they need to go underneath these fuel lines. Good deal. All right, those are ready to go. All right, what's next? How about the, I've already got the fuel supply in. Guess I can go ahead and put the top handle on. So what do I do with that? That's right here. Now, the screws for this intake bellows are still in here, okay? This is the intake bellows, so I'm going to try to be careful when I put this together that those are aligned and they don't pop out. I'm going to remove this screw here now so that I can get this suspension spring in place. Okay, that's in place. And I need to pull that little plug out of there. There we go. All right, so now the bellows is going in nice and easily.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm going to be leaving here in like 5 minutes.
All right, I'll be up in
8
just
minutes.
I'll be up in just a second.
Okay.
Okay. Susie has to go to work, so she is working midnights, and I'm down here in the basement pretending to work. She gets paid, I don't. Okay. All right, so that secures the rear handle and it secures the intake bellows. I'm going to go ahead and put this little plug back in where it belongs, right there. Oh, by the way, did I show you on here? See, can you see right here? This is the crack I was talking about, right there. Can you see that on the GoPro? It's like right there. That's where I was leaking gas. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and put this screw in here. This is for the other end of the suspension spring for the rear handle. Cool, that's in place. Then while that handle is there, I'm going to go ahead and take this suspension spring. This is going to be for the side handle. I'm going to go ahead and get this started real quick. Then I'm going to go say goodbye to Susie. There we go. So now it'll line up correctly now. All right, so that's in place. 1, 2, those two. And this doesn't go in yet. All right, we can put the carburetor back in. Okay, the carburetor is going to go in just like this. There is the main fuel line that will go into that little port right there. Now this, you want to make sure, let me pull this out again because I want to show something to you. All right, I had to go upstairs and say goodbye to Susie. I'm back. What was I doing? Carburetor. Okay, so yeah, this little piece of tubing right here, there's a little guide pin right here. And what you do is you want to make sure that that piece of tubing is behind that pin when you get the carburetor installed. That piece of tubing connects right here on the carburetor. That's the primer for the carburetor. So when you put this in, make sure you've got that stowed. Because if you don't put this behind that pin, what happens is as the throttle operates here, this will interfere with that hose, or the hose will interfere with this. All right, so now with this in place, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up a little bit here and get the hose attached. It's on, put it behind that pin. Now I'm going to line up the rest of the carburetor. There we go. It's in place. I need a couple screws and I need an elbow. Here's the screw, here's the elbow, and there are the screws. Let's get them going. Good deal. Good deal. Okay, that's in place. There is actually another little bellows piece. I don't know if you can see it with the GoPro, but it's right in here, and it is in the proper position. You want to make sure that that is in the proper position. It kind of sits into some little grooves in the plastic. But this is the top side of it right here. Okay, just so you know. Okay, I want to reconnect my hoses. Now remember the black one, remember the reason why I did that was so that I could keep these hoses in order, or keep them identified basically. So the white one goes with this, the white barb I should say, or the white coupler goes with this hose.
Love you, babe.
Love you too, honey. Be careful. And the black one goes here. So there we go. Those tubes are now connected. I'm going to put those in their place down in here. Okay, the wiring to the stop switch is in place. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and get this linkage put in. I want to put that trigger on first. Whoops, like this. There we go. Oh, my bad. Okay. So I guess that wasn't the right order to do that. I guess the first thing I want to do is put this spring on, get this lockout in place, take the trigger. All right, and that trigger is going to go right over that same pin that the spring did. And then I want to take the spring. I have to bring the spring back this direction right there. And I'm not quite there yet. Let me just bring it around. There we go. The spring goes right there. Now that everything's in place, we can see that the lockout moves freely. The trigger doesn't depress until the lockout is depressed. Okay, so that's all in place properly. And you can see back here when I do squeeze the throttle, there's no interference between that hose and the throttle. All right, so this is all ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take my other handle half right here, get my switch in place. Now these wires need to go down inside of here. And that switch goes just like that. Now this handle, I'm going to go ahead and take the screw out. I always have trouble putting this handle on for some reason. There's interference here. I'm not sure. There's got to be some kind of magic motion that you go through here to get that in place. We're going to see if we can figure it out. Still haven't figured it out. I don't know what it is, but there. All I know is eventually, once you play with it enough, it goes into place. So that's all that matters, right? All right, I'm going to take this screw. I'm going to run it in here. Okay, that's in place. All right, at this point, I can put the upper shield back in. So that's this shield right here. There's a pin, a long pin on this lower left side. Picks up a hole right here on the housing. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. Let me just make sure everything's in place. All the wires are routed correctly. Okay. And put this pin right into that hole to begin with. Then the rest of this stuff just sort of all snaps in to place. And just like that. The chain brake will go over this pin or this post over here, and then this piece ends up coming right over here, and you just sort of bend it into place like that. You got to make sure that the spring is in place. There's a spring. Let me show that to you. There's a spring right here that has to be in place in order for this to work correctly. So if that's not there, make sure you get it there. So go over the post, come around the front. It goes right into place right there, okay? And then this little shoulder screw goes in. It's plastic, so I'm threading a brand new set of threads in there. That's good and tight, very nice. All right, now I think I can put this filter on since that's out of the way. There we go. That's the filter. Cover. That lanyard ring goes up in there. Okay. I can go ahead and put the side handle on now. Now remember on this I said there was a kind of a way you have to thread it in. So it's sort of like, let's see if I can figure it out. So you push it all the way down like this and then thread it in like that. And everything goes into position. Okay, now there are two screws. This one is a coarse thread. It's for cutting plastic. This one is also coarse thread, but it's a different size screw. I believe This one does not fit there, so we're going to go ahead and put this one there. All right, that's got the handle in place there. Now this one goes in right in front of the trigger throttle. There we go. All right, throttle works. Okay, good. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and take this little piece, put it back in here to plug that hole. We're good there. I can put the clutch back on. Okay, so I am waiting for a kit. By the way, I'm putting a different clutch on here and another chain and bar because I want to try to get a little bit more torque, a little bit more cutting power out of it. Whoops! So this washer goes in like this. This goes in like this. This threads in with left-hand threads like that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to do the trick again here where I'm going to take this and stop the piston. So let's do that. And since I'm going to be turning in this direction to tighten it, I want to make sure I'm turning in that direction when I close off the port. Good. And I know that the piston is coming up. Yes, it is. So I'm going to leave it there. That way I can't accidentally push this rope into the exhaust port. I don't want to do that. So again, I'm holding the flywheel while I stuff this rope in here. There we go. All right. That's pretty tight. Pull the rope out. Rope is intact. All right. I don't know if you approve of that, Jeremy, or whoever's watching this, Andre. I know you guys do saw stuff all the time, but I think it works well. I think I got everything tight and I didn't damage anything. So there we go. All right. Where are we at next? Let's see. How about some other covers? How about the exhaust cover? Let's get this piece put back on, this little shield right here. Let's get that in place. Put the chain catcher on here. Oh, that's right. This is new plastic, so I got to cut new screws or new threads. So let's get that going here. There you go. All right, that's all in place. Okay, I think we can go ahead and put the recoil cover on. Now these screws are machine screws. They're finer threads, so you want to make sure you're using the right screw here. Don't use those coarse self-tapping plastic threading screws because you'll screw everything up, so to speak. Get it screwed up. Yeah, so you know what happens when you turn screws on your back, don't you? Yeah, you screw up. Get it because you're on your back and you're... Never mind. All right. This is called screwing something down. See, I'm screwing it down. I'm a dad. All right, good deal. That's in place. Why don't I go ahead and put this fuel deal? Wait, that's the oil. So let's go with gas up here. Hello. There we go. Put the oil cap back on. Where are we at now? How about muffler or exhaust cover? Let's get that in. These are also plastic thread cutting screws that go into the new plastic housing. So I'm threading them in for the first time here. There's that. I think you guys know the drill from this point forward. I'm just going to put the clutch cover back on. I don't think I'm going to, well, I might be able to run it yet tonight. There we go. All right, I guess I can put this old bar and chain on. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's do that. Let's put this on. Let me go ahead and loosen up. I don't know if I've loosened the tensioner or not, but I always like to loosen that up before I put the bar. Well, friends, I apologize. My phone ran out of memory and it died sometime right around the time of putting the covers back on, putting the chain and the bar on or whatever, but I apologize for that. Listen, so this is going to be a wrap, I think. I'm going to go ahead and put some fuel in this tomorrow. I'll do some footage of that. I'll probably include it in this video. We're going to get this thing running. It's back to factory now. Well, back to factory. It's back to, I would say, 99%. It's in good shape, folks. All of the plastic is pretty much new except for these 3 orange covers right here. That's about it. So it's going to be fun to get back up in the tree again and not have any gas leak out all over the place. I can't wait to do that. And man, I'll tell you what, I want to do it. And I want to do it now. It's just too late. It's like, I don't know, it's probably 10 o'clock right now in the evening. So what else could I talk to you about? I guess that's about it. Did I tell you I had to put the chickens away? I had to do that as well because we have raccoon issues. If I don't get those hens put away, raccoons and possums come out and they wreak havoc on them. As a matter of fact, I've had to put 2 raccoons into an eternal nap recently, and I'm going to be working on a possum here as well, trying to catch that critter and put him away as well. So wish me luck with that, folks. All right, friends, so today is the moment of truth. We're going to see if this thing runs, and actually I've already cheated. I already started it, ran it, tuned it. I've got some more tuning to do, but let's just hear how it sounds. Let's see if it works. If all this is a success, I'm a happy man today. Well, friends, I'm happy with that. So I've got my saw back, and for a man who loves being out in the woods, that is a real blessing. So folks, thanks for watching the show. Listen, keep special attention on the clues that you see in these videos, because I do have an upcoming video where I'm going to be doing a giveaway, and I think it's going to be exciting for one person out there in the YouTube subscriber base for this channel. So I'll let you know in a future video. Might be the next video, might be a little after that, we'll see, but there will be a giveaway on the channel. Stay tuned, watch for those clues in these videos. Folks, more than anything else, be kind out there in your neighborhood, be kind out there in your families. Kindness is the only power we have to overcome negativity in this world. Let's do that together, shall we? All right, I'll see you in another video. Oh my goodness, guess what I forgot? Right here. You know what this is? This is the cover that goes over the oil pump. That means I got to take this back off. I'll tell you what, folks, I'll fix that and I'll come back to you, okay?